Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Nvidia daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Nvidia. Let's talk about what is happening to Nvidia, what we can expect moving forward on the stock overall moving forward. And yeah, I'll give you my thoughts. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, etc. Well, again, guys, I do have a YouTube membership section. The link is down below in the description of the video where you can join if you're interested, where I constantly share my thoughts, post updates, including AMD. Actually, I was sharing it with my members as well, right? So definitely check that out if you're interested. All you have to do is click the bottom, the first link in the description of the video. And yeah, for $3 a month, guys, you get access to all my Tesla updates, broader market updates, everything like that. So if you're interested, join up. $5 a month for tier 2 includes everything I just mentioned, plus Nvidia updates if you're interested in that. And then of course, $7 a month includes everything else. That's the kind of you get everything kind of package, right? For just $7, where everything I mentioned, plus Discord access to my private Discord where I have a tier 3 chat room. We have a lot of members chatting there, day trading, etc. I have chart requests I do with members. Sometimes I even post my own little kind of quick snippets there as well. And of course, all my tier 3 updates and posts on YouTube itself, the membership section, of course, on YouTube, where it includes every other stock in the market that I see opportunities in that are worth sharing, including AMD. I was talking about AMD on last Wednesday. You can see here mentioning to my members in the chat room how I think it just wants to explode higher. Now, to be fair, I didn't expect, essentially like a 30, well, it's down 23. At the top, it was like 35%. I didn't expect 35%, to be fair. I'm not going to try to take credit like that, like I predicted 35%. But I definitely expected, maybe 180, right? Closer to 180. That was what I was expecting. So I'll take that. I'll take it. I'm not unhappy about that. But yeah, anyways, I'd love to have you there, guys. Definitely check it out if you're interested. But jumping into Nvidia, what is it doing, guys? Well, excuse me, man, that went down the wrong hole. It's doing kind of what we expected. I mentioned before how we broke that 1 hour trend line to the downside. I already deleted it because that's kind of done. But remember this trend line here, we broke to the downside. Yeah, we came down, guys. We came down, we tested that level, that strong level of support around 183 to 4. We tested it. We're finally there, just as expected, right? So nothing out of the ordinary is happening with this stock right now, but it is holding key levels. But the thing is, it needs to continue holding these key levels, right? This range down here, guys, this range right around here, it has to hold. It's very, 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 very important if it holds. If Nvidia starts losing this level, not only is that bad for Nvidia, that could be bad for the market. That could start telling you that the market maybe wants to start, potentially going into correction. Because if Nvidia starts losing weaknesses and starts getting potentially like a very large bearish reversal, that would be very concerning for the market because Nvidia is, well, it's Nvidia. It's the big dog, right? So let's continue monitoring that. But as of right now, yeah, it's just doing exactly what we expected, exactly what I mentioned, and it's holding key levels, right? The 9 EMA is holding, 183 to 4 is holding, with the massive line in the sand being, again, sort of 181 to 181.5. But, as of right now, moving forward, potentially the rest of the week even, honestly, or at the very least the next few days, yeah, I would expect Nvidia to not do a whole lot, right? I would expect it to sort of dance around within this kind of range right here, constantly getting rejected by this daily trend line, as it forms essentially kind of what may look like roughly a bull flaggy type formation here, maybe pennanty, wedgie, whatever, right? As it kind of gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then once it gets tighter, it'll have to break out one way or the other, right? Down or up. Obviously, we don't know for sure which way it's going to go, right? There's nothing guaranteeing any direction at the moment. But, we'll have easy ways to determine that where, essentially if key levels are broken or lost, well, then we probably have our direction picked, right? So let's continue monitoring how that goes, guys. But that's kind of what I see for Nvidia, really simply put, right? It's just doing exactly what I mentioned so far. So far, so good. I see no concerns. I don't see any problems. Do I see this, this drop to 185 close today as a concern? No, I actually don't, right? It looks perfectly normal to me. In fact, I'm eyeballing the stock pretty aggressively right now because I am looking to enter a swing pretty soon. But I'm waiting to see a bit more. I do think it's a little early still. Now maybe we get a pop, some news and it just, rockets to 200. That is a possibility. But, as of right now, I do think the stock will most likely chop around this region. So, I'm being patient. Right? Especially after locking in AMD profits. I'm trying not to overtrade, right? I'm not trying to give back to the market with, stubbornness, I guess, if you will, or like eagerness to, press something. So, essentially expect more chop for now, but I think maybe by the end of the week, hopefully we'll get a better direction as to where it wants to go, up or down. Obviously I do obviously lean bullish. Why? Because it still broke out, it's still holding key levels, it's turning a range that was a resistance into supports. I do lean bullish, absolutely, right? It's hard not to be honest with you, but obviously if key levels are lost, well, then we start changing our thesis, don't we? But so far so good, guys. So all in all, if you're here just to find out if this movement today is concerning or not, no, in fact, it's not concerning. In fact, it's actually going exactly according to plan. But expect a few more days of chop in my opinion. So let's continue monitoring that, guys. This is kind of what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Really about the same thing right here. You can see, how much room there is potentially within this region, right? How much room there is, right? We can easily fill this up and get tighter and tighter and tighter until we finally, break out or break down, right? So again, hopefully it makes sense. Pretty simple stuff, at least in my opinion. So let's see what happens moving forward with that, guys. Not much more to say. In terms of the broader market updates, yeah, it's still bullish. The broader market is bullish, guys. I mean, there's not much to say. EMAs are bullish. We're above the 9 EMA. We're holding. We're making higher highs. We're above the trend line. EMAs are flipped bullish as well. There's nothing concerning. Now, to me, the major concern really starts to happen on the market and, like, say, SPY in this case, below 660. If we start losing 660, that's where we start getting concerns. Above that, and especially while the EMAs are bullish and especially above the 9 EMA, market's bullish, as I've been saying for quite some time. The market's bullish. Yeah, it's not going up substantially. It's kind of slowly but surely making its way up, but up nonetheless, right? Up nonetheless. So overall, options flow on Nvidia are pretty mixed, honestly. Actually, a little bit more bearish than bullish flow today, to be honest with you, especially in the morning. This was probably the majority of why it looks like that. A lot of puts came in this morning for December for 185 strikes. So someone was loading the boat on these puts right here. I'm not sure for what reason, but someone is clearly unhappy right now with Nvidia. So let's see if that amounts into anything. But as long as we continue holding these key levels, especially 181 to 181.5, I remain with a bullish, in a more bullish stance on the stock, with eventual target to $200 per share, right? If this actually does break out, I do think this will take Nvidia to $200 per share. Honestly, I'll be surprised if it takes longer than the year end. It really could happen by the end of this month. Honestly, the way this market's going sometimes, it could be the end of this month. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.